everybody, good afternoon. My name's Laura and I am going to be your host for today, and I'm really delighted to welcome you all to our latest event. We've got a really exciting session today, and it's all around technology advances for a greener telco network. We're going to get started in a moment, but in the meantime, I'd really love to hear, what do you think about Vodafone Technology? So what is the first thing, what's the word that comes to your mind? So we've got a poll coming up in the chat. So what is the thing, what's the one word? If you can pop your one word into the chat, what comes to mind when you think of Vodafone Technology? Let me see what's coming up. What words have we got? We've got one response at the moment. Innovation, yes, love that. Creativity, innovation, new solutions. And you're going to get to hear today about some of this innovation and creativity and new solutions. Partnerships, interesting. Networks, yeah. Thank you so much for those that submitted your responses. Really interesting to see what your thoughts are. So thank you all again for joining us today. As I say, my name's Laura. I work in Networks UK, and I'm a business change manager, and I look at everything around sort of culture and people. So delighted to have you all here today. So what have we got for you in terms of agenda? So we've got a really exciting session for you planned today. We're going to be talking all about how we are creating a greener telco and how we're doing our bit at Vodafone to protect the planet. Protecting the planet is so important, and it is a key part of our purpose. So we're going to touch on that a little bit more before we welcome Kyriakos, who's going to share his insights all around, we saw the word innovation, all around the innovative energy efficiency initiatives that we have in place. We're then going to have an opportunity to answer any questions that you've got, and they might be around Vodafone itself, what it's like to work here, or anything that you hear within the session today. So you'll see at the top, we've got a little Q&A box. So please pop your questions into that Q&A. And when we get to the end, we'll answer as many of those questions as we can. So please feel free throughout the session, if anything comes to mind, you've got any questions, please do use that Q&A. However, we thought today it'd be really nice to kickstart our session with sharing more about our purpose here at Vodafone. And we've got a wonderful video that we're going to play to you, which just brings this a little bit more to life for you. So if we could just play the video, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much. What an absolutely inspiring video. So you can see here at Vodafone, our purpose is to connect for a better future. And we really believe that connectivity is a force for good. And if we use that technology for the things that really matter and are really important, it can improve our lives and the world around us. So you can see here on the screen, we have got 3 key purpose pillars. The first one is empowering our people. So we want to connect everybody, regardless of who they are, where they live. We want to close those digital divides, and we want to help our customers to fully benefit from digitalisation. And that's really important. We want to support our communities, especially those in need. And our motto is, we leave nobody behind. Protecting the planet. We're going to go into this in a little bit more detail over the next couple of slides, so hold that thought and I will come back to you. And maintaining trust. So we strive to deliver the very best services securely and responsibly and earn the trust of our customers. Really important. So if we can go to the next slide. So protecting the planet, I just want to talk a little bit more around that. So you can see here, we seek to protect the planet and enable our customers to do the same. We strive to reduce carbon emissions and achieve net value zero from our operations and value chains. We contribute to the circular economy and empower our customers to reduce their environmental footprint. And we've got 3 priorities here that are going to help us achieve that. So tackling carbon emissions, you can see here, achieving net zero in our operations. And since 2020, we have reduced emissions by an amazing 59%. Promoting circularity, you can see here. Recycling unused devices, we've got trade-in options, we've got recycling, we've got donation. And we've partnered with the WWF, where we pledged to collect 1 million phones for the planet. And each phone that we collect generates £1 to the WWF conservation projects. Absolutely amazing. From December 2022 to March 2024, there have been 340,000 phones collected, which is absolutely amazing. And then you can see enabling our green transition. So again, helping our customers reduce those planetary impacts and reducing that environmental footprint of our products and services. And we've got some goals. So not only that, we've got goals that are going to help us keep on track and to do this. We're really committed in this space. So our goals, what are we going to do? We're aiming for net zero operations in Europe by 2028 and in Africa by 2035. And we're aiming for net zero across our full value chain by 2040. And the good news is that back in 2021, we've already hit a milestone with 100% of electricity used in Europe was matched with renewable sources. And not only that, but that target was achieved 4 years ahead of what our original target was. I mean, amazing goals and amazing what we've achieved so far, but we are not just stopping there. There is more to do, and we are committed to doing just that. So without ado, let me introduce you to Kyriakos. So Kyriakos leads our energy performance here at Vodafone. He is based in Madrid. And over the last 20 years, he's served in various roles across group technology at several committees, and he has just been instrumental in driving several mobile network award-winning innovations. Again, we saw that word at the beginning, innovative, and you're going to see lots of that today. New architectures that have been into global scale deployment, improving our customer experience, customers at the heart of everything that we do, reducing our energy consumption, and like I say, really delivering these innovative products and services to customers. In most recent times, he's passionate about driving Vodafone Climate Transition Plan. And again, that's through innovative energy efficiency initiatives. We've got new digital, Gen AI-based solutions. We're hearing so much about Gen AI. Disruptive storage solutions, new architectures such as Open RAN, and much, much more. I mean, this is really just a snapshot, but so I'm going to open now to Kyriakos, who's going to tell us much more in detail about these initiatives and all this great innovation. So Kyriakos, over to you, please.
Thank you, Laura. Amazing intro, but we also have some amazing material to share. Yes, I'm based in Madrid in network strategy and architecture. And today we're going to take you through some of the great innovations that we need in this area because traffic will continue to increase in the coming years, and new emerging trends like artificial intelligence will put more challenges on the way. So we need to have the right tools and the innovations to manage the energy challenge. So a bit of data to start with. Our annual electricity consumption, 5.2 terawatt hours, is equivalent almost to the Isle of Malta, just to have a view. We spend over a billion, yes, on energy bill across the Vodafone group. Almost 90% of the electricity we purchase is coming from renewable sources. We do that either internally or acquired through dedicated power purchase agreements or other certified ways like green renewable energy certificates. And in total, we have 0.7 million tons of emissions which, as you can see below, what are the big contributors is mainly the access sites that we have. These are the sites where we have our antennas, just to have an understanding. And this is a traditional telco network, say in a big country like Germany, has approximately 30,000 sites spread across the network. So we're completely different than a traditional tech company like Google or Apple, who only have data centers mainly. And this much more centralized and concentrated and a bit easier to address the energy challenge. In our case, we have 18% distribution from technology centers, and the remaining parts come from our property, fleet, and retail stores. So you can see where is our big focus from how the network is built and contributing. Yeah, on the next slide, we'll see the challenges for the telco sector and supply chain. We're making great progress. You already heard in the intro, we have done already more than 50% reductions in our emissions. A bit of intro what Scope 1, 2, and 3 means. Scope 1 are our emissions that come from sources that are controlled or owned by us. Mainly, we're talking fuel, but also transport, refrigerant gases, and natural gas, and other sources. And in Africa, I would say the main contribution of that comes from diesel, which we need to address. Scope 2 are the emissions coming from purchasing energy such as electricity, district heating and cooling, but also electric vehicles or hybrid vehicles that we have in the state. And Scope 3 is the full value chain of the organization. For example, emissions associated with production of equipment that we purchase from partners. Okay. So, sorry, if you stay a bit on the slide. So, most of our emissions coming from Scope 2, go back on the previous, please, that are represented from renewable energy that we buy from the grid. And the rest of the emissions come from Scope 1, mainly through extensive use of diesel generators in Africa operators because of instability of the grid that we have. So yeah, on this in general, we have a strategy how to address Scope 1 and Scope 2. Mainly, we saw on the slides quickly, we have 6 pillars, but energy efficiency is the most important one that we will go through and today and see what innovations we have in this area. But also there are other pillars as well, like on-site renewables innovations, alternative fuels, how to address the risk from fugitive gases. For example, we have in extinguishers, and the electrification of our fleet. Yeah, so these are the 6 pillars that we have in our climate transition plan, which we published earlier this year. And all of them are in motion in order to address both Scope 1 and Scope 2. So if we go now on energy efficiency, latest generation hardware. Yeah, these are latest generation power amplifiers and latest chipsets. The most advanced chipsets that are coming up allow us 20 to 30% efficiency thanks to more optimized architectures. So the use of new hardware, we are modernizing our networks through the life cycle process. And also we collaborate and drive the industry and our partners, our suppliers, that we purchase equipment for our radio network, core network, transport network to ensure that their equipment is bringing all the state-of-the-art improvement. So, for example, when you go on high traffic load, power amplifiers are the most energy consuming components. So that's why here we always deploy latest generation like GaN power amplifiers, which are more optimized architecture to tailor each product to the most optimum efficiency state. In the low traffic area, what is more important are the system on chip. These are introduced now in our latest generation of 5G radios. And what really they are capable of optimizing consumption according to the traffic load in a dynamic way. That allow us to be 8 to 10% faster performance, but also more optimum on energy. So yeah, hardware latest generation is one of the key components as we're going through to modernize our networks. At the moment, we are doing the biggest global tender for our radio network. We are going to procure new equipment for our whole entire state of 170,000 sites across our footprint. So that's a massive investment for the next 5 years. Next one is not only hardware, but also software. So how the software is intelligent to manage energy consumption. And I bring here a concept which is called 0 bit, 0 watt, which is mainly we want to minimize consumption by ensuring that the power is only used when we need to serve the customer. And that looks logical, but it's not happening today. So even if we don't have any traffic, the equipment still consumes energy. And this is an area of a big focus with our suppliers and partners. There are different states where we put the equipment in what we call sleep mode. So first layer, we have the cell sleep mode, where we're switching off the power amplifier in a dynamic way. The second state is the deep sleep mode. Here we start switching off active components and we keep only the management plane. And then the extreme deep sleep mode, where we switch off all components. Now, what is the problem of that is it takes time to switch, to bring back again the equipment active. So if you are, say, overnight, it may take 3 to 5 minutes to wake up. And if you are during the day where the traffic happens always every minute or every 5 or 10 minutes in the specific sites, it might take again 1 minute, but we want it in seconds. So that's the innovative part where we are now very, very close to our target to have fast wake up times for the super deep sleep dormancy of less than 1 minute. Our target specification is for 30 seconds, and some suppliers will already meet that in 2026. Next one, we'll talk about the core now, infrastructure. Core infrastructure is more in our data centers. Here are some of the innovations. So dynamic thermal management. These allow us to optimize the flow and deliver just the right amount of cooling required where it's needed. So as you can see, the blue part, if you don't have it active, is wastes energy. When you have active the dynamic thermal management, you just have automatically control the cooling distribution in real time. That precise cooling allows us to be very, very efficient in our data centers. Cooling containment, the pods allow us to be even more precise, handling the limiting almost to zero the mix between the cold and hot air, and allow us to be less cooling power waste, basically. Up to we can allow up to 25 kilowatt per rack, and that's very scalable for our data centers. And the third one, in the mix, we have liquid cooling, where again allow us to have free cooling everywhere, including in African countries. We are doing proof of concepts at the moment in our data centers with that technology, and it's very promising. Right. So if we talk about alternative generation now, solar and wind. we continue. This is part of our standard power standards. Is a renewable energy source. We try to maximize as much as we can solar photovoltaic system. We basically you are familiar with that. Many of you have it in your houses already. Provides pure, clean, renewable electricity. In our portfolio, we use between 2 kilowatt power up to 11 kilowatt power available. Over time, the efficiency will improve of these solar panels and will be able to be even more efficient where we are space constrained. And solar forms part of our standards, as I mentioned. In Africa, we have now over 3,000 deployments in countries like Kenya or DRC, where the electrification is very low because of the country difficulties and the grid peculiarities. Microturbines, the wind energy is another one. We can have a device that converts wind energy to electricity. These turbines can work on the vertical axis or horizontal axis and bladeless forms. So these systems are beneficial mainly for off-grid locations where there is consistent availability of wind. And it cannot be considered a standalone solution because it cannot fulfill all the load requirements we have. But you can combine this with a fixed generator. We can pair it with a solar or with a battery system. Again, it's solutions we are doing some deployments and proof of concepts in several countries. So alternative energy storage. Here we have another set of innovations where we improve the production and consumption decoupling, as well as enable energy flexibility use cases. We have intelligent battery systems, where here we look scouting for different chemical composition to enhance performance and recyclability. And also hydrogen. Here is alternative hydrate storage vessel is how we store hydrogen, which is one of the big challenges as we want to use new technologies like fuel cells. So we are looking how to scout new solutions here to produce hydrogen on the site, green hydrogen, and store it for longer period as power backup. The next slide, we have alternative to diesel generators. These are solutions where our big focus at the moment in our operations in Africa. Two very promising one is the microturbines generation set and the fuel cells. The microturbines are small combustion turbines that are used in a localized or mobile power generation. It is a system based on a combination of small gas turbine, which is directly after driven into a high-speed generator. There are many advantages of that solution. First of all, is compact size. As you can see, is lightweight, greater efficiency. It has lower emissions and lower electrification costs. And the biggest one is that you can use different variety of fuels, not just diesel. You can use biodiesel, you can use HVO or even hydrogen. And that's what we are exploring. We have done proof of concepts of that in Africa, but also Europe. The fuel cells on the right-hand side is devices that convert energy stored in hydrogen molecules into electricity through an electrochemical reaction. Basically, this is how you can have a process to produce hydrogen from electrolyzer, and that produces hydrogen from water. So it's a pure type of green solution, and you need to power it up with solar energy. So the water then is recirculated to the electrolyzer and is cell-refueled into hydrogen solution. This generation is one of the, again, promising one. We collaborate with a number of suppliers, and we are very, very soon now to do a procurement process to award suppliers for deployment in our operations. And again, as I said, is one of the promising green solutions that we have in our portfolio. And so, coming now to digitalization. Digitalization is fundamental in our energy transformation journey. We have a suite of digital products which cover end-to-end energy data from our network to provide intelligent insights for different initiatives. We try to maximize the deployment of smart meters in our sites. We have now more than 50,000 deployed across several countries, and we continue to maximize that. And then there are different use cases where we use, so on the access network, we use analytics, how to optimize even further savings from deployment of energy saving features that we saw before, and have real-time monitoring, identify anomalies in our network from several sites and take quick remedy action. On the core network, on our core sites, we have power unit efficiency optimization programs and smart sites monitoring and dynamic thermal management to ensure energy consumed in the most optimal way in our data centers. And then across our fleet, we have energy data management and billing validation tools. So invoice and billing is an area where we automate and we identify again anomalies to some sites that we identify are consuming less from what is supposed to be invoiced. And also we are building digital transparency as part of our sustainability and business reporting. That is also now a mandatory process as part of CSRD regulation. So yeah, if we now going as a kind of a summary slide, the foundation of everything is having a green infrastructure network. As we showed before, for example, you need to be extremely efficient how you operate. If you don't transmit, you don't need to consume 0 bit, 0 watt is one of the main philosophies. Every site needs to be a green site. Every data center needs to be a green data center. The efficiency on site level needs to be improved from 60 to over 90% in the next 3 years. And in the data center, the power unit efficiency, power usage effectiveness, we want to reduce it less than 1.5, starting from Europe, which is a big focus, but also in Africa. Once you have that foundation layer, then you use digital enablers on top, like artificial intelligence, cloud solutions, 5G, IoT, network as a service. And then you can enable the digital use cases like energy saving feature optimization or PUE optimization, energy forecasting. And one of the good ones, which we are currently working on, is the virtual power plants. Virtual power plants allows you also to use battery assets that we have in our sites as a resource to optimize the storage capacity and have agreement with energy providers in order to generate a new revenue, which allows you at the end to be more efficient by make more targeted investment on solutions that can reduce your emissions. So this is a new framework that now we are having into implementation. as part of the digitalization to enable the digital energy products. So big focus on that. So I'm sure there are now a lot of questions, and I would like to use the time to take them through and have this a bit more dynamic.
Thank you so much. I mean, that is absolutely fantastic. And I didn't even realize the amount of work that is going on across the business. It's absolutely astounding. So yes, just for those on the call, please do pop your questions. You'll see at the top of your screen there's a little Q&A button. So please put any questions in the Q&A and we'll get through as many as we can. So we've got our first one, which is what learning or development opportunities are available in tech at Vodafone?
Yeah. First of all, I would like to mention about the technical career program which we have. I'm very proud and ambassador of that program inside technology. We recognize and reward the technical skills, and this part, the heart of that program, encourages people to develop constant skills and know-how on new technologies, because that's the essence and foundation you need in order to start creating innovation. As part of the program was launched in last year, we continue to expand across Vodafone. It has different levels of technical career path status, up to 7 levels where you can be a fellow. And from level 4 and onwards, you also have additional monthly cash allowance. It allows you to be recognized as an expert and participate into new programs inside the company and big projects that are transformational to the business. It is also a great way to have an expert community, to get together and discuss challenges that we have and innovative ideas. But also learning is constant through structured training program. We have at the moment one on Gen AI, and many people across the company go through that. It is how this can transform our networks and how best we can serve our customers through new technologies, which are giving us a great opportunity to be far more efficient in the way we operate, in the way we work on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you so much. I mean, I think you can see just the plethora of opportunities there are within Vodafone. And I love the technical career path because it demonstrates how we do value the technical skills as well. And it's there are so many opportunities. I've got another question in the chat. What leading trials are currently being done at Vodafone?
On that topic, today, as I mentioned, the technologies we used, we are doing several proof of concept trials, both in Europe and in Africa. On alternative fuel, we are deploying at the moment in the UK the HVO, but also doing trials for hydrogen and ammonia fuel cells, which are again green technologies, green alternative fuel to diesel. On alternative power storage, we are looking sodium batteries. At the moment, we are using the low voltage and lithium batteries. Lithium batteries are the most traditional ones that you have in the electric vehicles are wearing in your mobile phone, and we have it also in our sites. But sodium is now starting to be an emerging technology on batteries. First of all, the sodium is one of the most accessible raw materials on Earth that is easier to extract. And it's not as the lithium, it is safer, it can be more efficient, it can operate in low temperatures, and is also easier to recycle than the traditional lithium battery. So we're doing now many trials of that, and we collaborate with about around 10 suppliers, and hopefully soon the maturity will be there where we are able to procure them and deploy them on the network. And also, as I mentioned, on AI digital use cases, we are doing several trials how AI algorithms can improve efficiency of current solutions that we have and be far more, I would say, wiser how we use network resources to be dynamically adapted to the traffic conditions. Learning from historical data that we have, how our traffic, how our customers move from one network to the side, what times of hours, etc. So lots of exciting things there and areas to try and explore and learn.
I mean, I'd never heard of sodium batteries, so I've learned something new today. I mean, so it's really cutting edge, isn't it? All of the initiatives and things that are happening. Amazing. What opportunities are available in Vodafone for technology managers to contribute to being part of a greener telco?
Yeah, there are different ways to look at that. So for the moment, if you look at digital society, there are many projects. For example, we are doing on smart cities and digital agriculture. We are very active in several agreements as well and projects. So on smart cities, for example, we are looking projects across Europe. We partner with municipality governments to implement solutions like smart metering for energy consumptions, or also for public transport to reduce fuel costs. There are solutions, for example, where you can detect the real-time traffic of cars during the day and then optimize the routes of the cars through smart meters or even traffic light usage. So some municipalities are very, very active on these projects. On digital agriculture, we are leveraging the IoT, the Internet of the Things technology we have deployed now across our networks, and they are all ready in all countries. We help farmers make better decisions regarding seeding, irrigation, fertilization, and all of these initiatives aim to increase productivity and improve sustainability in the agriculture sector, which is very, very important for the planet. Automotive and IoT, this is another exciting area. We are delivering cutting fuel consumption up to 30% for some corporate customers, vehicle maintenance, efficient driving behavior, fleet, and general IoT solutions can measure humidity, for example, and soil health, water absorption in several other sectors. So these are some of the examples where technologies like IoT, which allow the network to operate in a very efficient way to connect with new devices and smart meters are going to proliferate a lot in the coming years.
I love the idea of smart cities, and so watch out for a smart city coming near you one day in the future. You've talked about IoT and Internet of Things. In what way has that contributed to achieving carbon zero?
It has contributed a lot for the customers that we have, not so much for our own operations, but for the whole value chain. So what we call about scope 3, and also enterprise customers that we have, and we offer solutions. We need to ensure that they are very efficient digital solutions and IoT. And the way that their devices connect to our network need to be very, very efficient. And that's why the technology we deploy, like narrowband IoT or CAT-M, we have now, all our big countries are ready for that, to connect any type of these devices, which are very low efficient, to ensure that not only they provide good performance in terms of connectivity, reliability, and latency, but also our network needs to operate in the most efficient way to connect millions of devices. That's why we need the technology which is far more efficient than the traditional 5G network, because the traditional 5G network treats these devices as like small smartphones, right? And that's not the best way of using our resources. And so that's why the narrowband IoT and CAT-M are very, very efficient and best with the technologies to allow us to be efficient and our customers to reduce their emissions.
Fantastic. And we've heard you talk today, so there's a question come in. Are you implementing these greener strategies across all global sites, for example, India, etc., or only in Europe? I think I heard you mention in Africa as well, didn't you? But where are these implementations happening?
Yeah, it's every country needs have different I would say challenges and characteristics. And if you saw in the beginning our targets that we published recently differentiate between Europe and Africa. Yeah. So we say for our own operations in Europe by latest 2028. I say latest because in some of the countries we will be able to do that even before that. Yeah, so I'm very optimistic on that, and we're working very hard on this. But in Africa, there are different challenges than Europe. The most important is the grid access, which is very, very low. Electrification in some countries like Congo is extremely low. And the grid reliability is also not good. So we have there what is called the load shedding, where there can be a scheduled outage of the network because the grid goes off for say 4 or 6 hours in some countries like South Africa or Egypt. Energy prices are high. Vandalism, theft is another big issue there. So we need to have solutions that are very secure from this type of acts. And so, yeah, these challenges make us necessary to deploy backup solutions like for generation, like diesel generators. And this is not good at all. So we need to deploy the solutions I explained before, like the fuel cells and hydrogen and microturbines with alternative fuels to allow us reduce our dependency to diesel. So yeah, Africa has peculiarities which are completely different to Europe, and some of these are present in other countries which we don't operate, like Gulf countries or India, as you mentioned.
Fantastic. So it sounds like you're really adapting, your strategy depending on
our portfolio to the needs of each country. Yeah.
So, but Europe before looking good, before 2028, and we saw earlier we'd already beat our milestone 4 years earlier with the renewable energy sources. So every confidence. We've got another question here. So as Vodafone has embarked on this journey of net zero, what key barriers did you have and how have you addressed them, considering Vodafone operates in Europe and Africa with different geographies? I think we've covered some of the barriers, but is there anything else that...
I think I covered mostly. As I said, in Europe, there are some countries where we have some outstanding things, I would say, to do to operate in some countries. Specifically, I would say the last thing we need to complete is the electrification of our fleet transport vehicles. Now we have mandatory as a company in all the countries, any new company vehicle needs to be fully EV. So we replace also our fleet to be fully EV compliant and reduce and address that part. So I think that is one of the last remaining challenges. Most of the countries now start to become almost 90% reduction on our own operations. In Africa, I already mentioned challenges that are completely different, and this is where we need most of the innovative solutions to deploy. We have partners and suppliers where we have reached several agreements, and also this is an area where we are not alone. So in these challenges in Africa, all other operators have the same challenge as us. So as an example, in South Africa at the moment, the government passed a law where collaboration on energy initiatives is not considered as antitrust topic. So we can collaborate with our competitors to find common solutions and address the same challenges, because that's for the benefit of the customer and the society, to have better power access, and also be more efficient in the way you use the power resources, which are scarce. Yeah.
And linking in nicely, we've had another question. You mentioned there how we use them. So somebody's asked, can I save energy through my own user behavior with my smartphone? So they exampled not covering the phone's antenna with my hand during a call. But is there anything we can do as individuals?
Yeah, and there are ways that customers can do. Some of the suppliers, we are working on new concepts where we can make our customers be more ESG aware of the hours that they use the phone. So, for example, you can, if you connect during an hour where there is the maximum peak of electricity, you don't know that. Right, so maybe when you connect, before you click the use of watching a video in your Instagram, if you know that you are contribute highest to the consumption of emissions at that point, maybe you say, I would delay about half an hour or a few minutes later, because that's not critical at that point in time. So we try to create some ESG awareness across the use of applications and services. This is one of the new areas which I'm sure will come, because also providers of our smartphones like Apple, Google, or Samsung are very, very keen on ESG, and initiatives like that will help us all to be more ESG sensitive on the society.
Yeah, absolutely. And those small things all add up, don't they? If everybody takes their own initiative to do something, then they all contribute. More on that point. So how is data collected from the network and being analysed to pinpoint any areas for improvement?
Yes. So there are many ways where data are aggregated. There are, first of all, every equipment sends information about the usage of the equipment, how it is used, how it's loaded at every time. And all these are aggregated back in our operating systems every, say, 15 minutes, and we analyze statistics about the availability of the network, the performance of the network. When it comes to energy, apart from the consumption of the equipment, we can do far more precise analytics. As I said, we try to deploy as much as we can of smart meters on the site, our own smart meters, and then aggregate almost in real time all the data on a cloud platform. We collaborate with Google on that. We have a cloud platform, and then there are real-time analytics where we're now doing a lot of analysis for energy data management to identify which are sites and classify sites based on their efficiency. Anomalies we can detect and almost fix instantly. I can tell you, you can see abnormal behavior of a site that was, had a typical pattern over a month, and suddenly one day has something strange. So then you can immediately say, is it an event, a plant event that happened there, or something, someone has gone there and connected something wrong cables and the consumption went by 3 times more. So we detect some of these cases, or in a building over the weekend where consumption was supposed to be very low, then suddenly goes up like 10 times in an hour, and then you see something is completely wrong and you need to go and identify what happened, right? So this allows us to identify some of these anomalies very fast and be very efficient, but you really need to have now everything digitalized on a platform that allows you to have digital tools and do fast analysis.
Yeah, because that must be a huge amount of data to have to analyze and crunch and to be able to get those insights.
Yeah, and you need reliability, and you need also good quality. of the data sources that you have. Otherwise, if the data are not reliable, then you might arrive to wrong conclusions.
Yeah, it's that data-driven decision making, isn't it? Really key. Thank you so much. We've got another question in the chat more broadly. So, what technology job opportunities are available in the UK?
Well, there is a website available with all our career opportunities in every country. If you ask me, what is like to work on any technology job profile, I would say in our sector, not only the energy topic which I work today, but in general, our technology is fast evolving. Since I started working more than 20 years in this sector, the evolution never stops. There wasn't any year where we were static and we didn't have anything new to learn and work, right? You never get bored. You constantly learn, innovate, develop, test, and deploy, right? So this is a cycle that is very powerful. Sometimes takes 1 year, sometimes even can take 5 years since you start, creating a concept up to see it live. And we have a lemma which says, innovation that is not deployed never exists. So you really need to make it see it live at the end, and this is what makes you proud. And from my experience, for example, I remember when I was with a team of colleagues when we invented the famous Vodafone Instant Network, which today we deploy in big emergency or humanitarian disasters like the one we saw in Valencia a few days back in Spain. Through our group foundations, we deployed several instant networks to help providing coverage in the areas which had no electricity. And these are things which are make you, feel proud of. You do something to help people, and it's not, everything about objectives that you have in your day-to-day job. So yeah, and the other thing is it's great to work on daily basis with people from different countries and different cultures. I think that's one of the great things that Vodafone has and any other international companies. That diversity allows you to work in different ways, approach the problem from different angles. And one challenge can be addressed in different ways, and that makes the work environment very, very dynamic and very very insightful and very, very creative.
Yeah, and the last time we ran one of these, I think that one of the key things that came out was the people, how fantastic the people are here at Vodafone. And like you've said, there's just so much opportunity. You're making a difference. I mean, look at the work that you're doing is making a difference to our planet. But as you say, Vodafone Foundation, it isn't just about objectives. It is the impact on our customers and on people's lives. And the opportunities here are just endless. I think you've summed it up really, really nicely. We are nearly out of time, so I just want to thank everybody for your questions, and thank you all for joining us. Kyriakos, thank you so much for sharing all of the fantastic work that's happening. It's amazing. So before you all go, I'd just like you again to share your thoughts. Now you've heard everything today. We did that little poll at the beginning. Now, what are your thoughts to describe Vodafone Technology today? Now you've heard everything. Now you've heard all of the great work that's happening and a bit more about what it's like to be here. Can you share your one word to describe Vodafone Technology? Let's have a look what's coming up. We had innovation and creativity. What are we saying now? Impactful. Yes, I love that. What you can see the amazing impact that we are having. That's a wonderful word. Any other words? So we've had innovative, creativity, impactful. I'll give you all a couple more seconds to do that. But before you go, If you are interested in hearing more about life at Vodafone and the great things that our team get up to, we've got tons of information on our social channels. So you can see we've got Instagram at Vodafone Life, Facebook, Vodafone Careers, LinkedIn at Vodafone, and we've got a career site. So, you know, there's been questions around what opportunities are available. You can head to our career site to find out about all our latest vacancies at careers.vodafone.com. I personally love the link to the Instagram site because it gives you a real flavour of some of the things that go on within Vodafone, and you get that kind of day in the life and what it feels like to be here. Thoroughly recommend going and joining those social channels to find out more about Vodafone. Last poll before we close: would you consider a career at Vodafone? After hearing everything today, would you consider a career at Vodafone? You can just submit your answer. Let's see what you're all thinking on the call. Just looking at your other comments as well. Trailblazers. Somebody put trailblazers. I love that one as well. Socially responsible. Yeah, fantastic. Yes. So you would consider a career at Vodafone. And I can say it's a fantastic place to work. A bound of opportunities. The opportunity to make a difference. It's a wonderful place to be. Okay, I think that's us wrapping up for today. I just want to thank you all so much. Just to say, we have recorded the session, so we will share details of the recording so you can go back and re-listen, and please do share. Again, encourage you to join those social media channels and do check out our vacancies on our careers page as well. Kyriakos, once again, thank you so much, and thank you to everybody on the call for your engagement and for your questions. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It was a pleasure indeed.
Thank you all.